So that's the problem that I was always dealing with when I work on my legal sites. I do a lot of litigation support. I basically exclusively work on litigation, chemistry, environmental matters. And the old school, they'd pass that USB across the desk or at a meeting and say, "Here's all the data. Go figure it out." And I had to open that up and look at all the contents and figure out what was there. And there's pictures and PDFs and Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, databases, and you had to go through it all, figure out what was there, and try to organize it. And sometimes you'd get that in an organized fashion if the company was organized. It passed it to. Other times it was just a data dump. And I envisioned someday that I would have data mastery and for an environmental forensics investigation. I called it mastery. I've blogged several times on mastery. And what that means to me is I know the entire contents of that folder. I've interacted with it. I've pulled the data. I'm confident I have the data. I'm confident that I've seen the information that I require in order to present my case or to write my report or whatever purpose I had on that particular matter. And that vision is turned into what we've built at Statvis. So Statvis is commercially available. It's found, and the forensic side that I'm talking about is from 20 years of environmental forensics consulting experience, the tools that I needed to do my job better. We adopted AI and machine learning years ago. I was using machine learning probably 7, 8 years ago for our work to help figure out where the sources were coming from and how much of those sources were where. I'm seeing a lot on LinkedIn right now that the environment industry has a data problem and maybe a database problem. Maybe you're changing databases. How do you access that information? And I agree. We're overwhelmed. I don't know if it's just a data problem. I think it's a knowledge problem. And knowledge includes the data. There's a bunch of environmental data that's been collected over time. We have to have an understanding of that in order to do environmental forensics. But there's also a bunch of knowledge inside these documents that have been made. Like if you're talking about a site with 30 years of history, there could be 10,000 pages on that site of various professionals that have investigated things and measured stuff and come to their own conclusions. That knowledge is stuck in jail in a PDF somewhere, and maybe not accessible. If you don't read that particular report and see that conclusion, maybe you just miss it completely. And that's what this system is truly meant to do, is to capture all those learnings and push them forward so these sites can go to closure so that you know that you've got all that information. So, Statvis, we use it on my litigation. It can be used on contaminated sites. It's managing entire environmental portfolios now, and it's become a very intrinsic part of the work I do every day.